Hola amigos, welcome back. All right, so in this video, I want us to just go over a listing here by Raquel. So I've seen a property with Raquel in the past, and she's like a an agent because here in Mexico, you don't really need a license to be a realtor. Anybody can sell houses. I can even wake up tomorrow morning and decide that I'm in the BNS Raices business, meaning the real estate agency business. So this is a property here that was listed by Raquel a few hours ago, and it measures 10 meters wide and 20 meters deep. And it says it's 5 calles. So Raquel, the way she does her listings, they're quite comical actually. So she said it's 5 calles, so 5 streets from Parque de San Sebastian, and it is close to the Adeo bus station, close to San Juan. It's close to Santiago neighborhood, and it's on a quiet street. That's what she says. And this particular house has a parking space. It has a living room, a dining area, the kitchen, a one bedroom, one bath, and a patio. So the back area, and it costs 2.1 million pesos and one cash. Yeah, that's a quick introduction. Now, San Sebastian, it's in the southeast part of Centro, not too far from the big market, the Mercado San Benito area. And yeah, and yeah, quite a walking distance to all these neighborhoods that she mentioned. All right, so as I can see from this picture, this building, this house was built with blocks, and it was probably just like a parking lot for probably this house right here. It was probably a parking lot, but the owner decided to sell that, and somebody built on it with block. And yeah, so you have the parking area here. Now they're asking for 2.1 million pesos, and I want to see if this property is worth the asking price. So let's see. All right, so this is the living room with the paint bucket and all sorts of garbage in the living room. And I'm guessing this is the at the bedroom because it says it's one bedroom, one bath. Again, with more trash in it. This is the living room from the back area, so from the comedor, from the dining area. And this is the patio at the back, as we can see here. So it has the fences already. You just need to clean that up, or maybe get the sellers to clean it up. But they're gonna tell you, "Oh yeah, 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 we'll clean it up." Guess what? They don't do anything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So the property itself, it says so 10 by 20. That's 200 square meters. 200 square meters in feet. That's over 2,000 square feet. Over 2,000 square feet. So is it worth the asking price? Is it worth what you're asking for? In my opinion, no, it is definitely not worth it. It's overpriced. And I think this property is probably worth maybe like 800,000 pesos. So they're asking about 3 times the, uh, so let's just say 3 times what this property is actually worth. Now it's in Centro, so it's like not too far from San Juan, Santiago, San Sebastian, so on and so forth. But it's a very small piece of land, only 10 meters by 20 square feet. It has one bedroom, one bath, really. And as you can see, so the house, it's 10 meters wide. So it's wide enough, but based on this picture, it looks wide enough. I'm not really sure if it's actually 10 meters wide though. But based on the pictures, I think you might have to go and see it in person because it doesn't look wide enough. So this is the living room. I'm guessing maybe, I don't know, that's the kitchen, that's the door that takes you to the back area. So, it's one of those listings whereby it's better to go see it in person. And yeah, you're going to need to do a lot of work on this property. Now, the roof looks okay. The walls, they look okay. I don't see any mold. I don't see any major issue, but definitely the floors, you're gonna have to do something with the floors. The doorways, you're gonna have to do something about that. The back area, clean that up because the property itself, it's not that big, so it's not gonna take a lot to work on. And if you're thinking of renting, so depending on how nice the place looks, probably it might be maybe a 2 bedroom. Maybe you can squeeze in a 2 bedroom, one bath, or 2 bedroom, two bath if possible, and you can probably rent this place out for maybe 14,000 pesos thereabout. Again, I'm gonna have to see where in Centro it's located, the streets, what does it look like, so on and so forth, right? But you can probably rent this place out for maybe 14,000 pesos, uh, depending on how nice it looks after you've already renovated it. So the asking price, in my opinion, it's overvalued, and it's definitely not worth this much. So this property will probably stay on the market for a year or two, or never, or forever and ever. And for me, one thing that annoys me about many owners, even realtors themselves, is that somebody ask you like, "Hey, can you sell my property?" You go, "Sure." Come take pictures. You use your cell phone, you take pictures. Okay, that's fine. And then you don't even ask them to clean the property up. I've been to so many properties with trash in it. Sometimes the property, they've been on sale, they've been on the market for so long that with the rain, humidity, now it smells, now there's dust, now they have leaves and all over. So I'm just like, it doesn't cost that much to send somebody to the property to clean it up, or maybe the realtors themselves when they go in, because you're trying to sell this property, like just clean it up a little bit before the for the buyers before they come to see that property. Because I mean, it doesn't take long. It doesn't take much to just take out the garbage, and at least maybe the property will look like it's worth 2.1 million pesos, even though it's still not worth 2.1 million pesos unless they actually, you know, renovate it. I've seen properties that's like fully renovated. It has like two apartment units in it, and they're asking for the same price. Now, it might not be the same neighborhood, but at least, not too far. So that's it for this one. And let me quickly go to another one to compare, so you can see. So this one they're asking for 2.1 million pesos. So again, it's the same asking price as this one, and it's in Ermita. So Ermita and San Sebastian, they're not too far from each other. But so this one already has a building on it, and this one doesn't have any building, but it's bigger because it's 363 square meters. And this one is only 200 square meters. So this other one is about, it's almost double in size when it comes to the land size. And here, so it's 12 meters wide and 32 meters deep. The other one is about 10 meters by 20. So this is almost, let's say one, let's say, yeah, so 10 meters more, 10 meters deeper. So it's more spacious. And yeah, and here they're actually asking you cash contado. 2.1 million pesos, that's about 105,000 pesos. I mean 105,000 US dollars. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's quite wide. They have the fences all done up. They have the gates already, and there's a swimming pool on the property. They have these um, tiled area, and they have the water fountain area. So probably the owner maybe lives next door, and so he thought, or they thought, this property is too big for us. Let's just divide it up, sell one part of the land, and then we continue to live on the other side. Because I mean, why would you build a pool and have all these? Or sometimes it could be a property built for event spaces, like an event space. So they would have the swimming pool, they might have like a little washroom, a little kitchen, where you can do your food prep and such, and they will rent out that space for events and parties and such. And they would have like a roofed patio area, right? So it'll be an outdoor event center. So maybe this place was an outdoor event center, right? Again, it looks very unkept. They could have cleaned it up so at least it looks like it's worth 2.1 million pesos. Now, again, are they asking for too much? My answer is yes. They're absolutely asking for way too much. Again, it's not worth 2.1 million pesos because it's just an empty piece of land. You're going to have to build on it from scratch. But then again, it depends on what you're looking for, what you're looking to build. But I would say this property probably it's not worth more than 900,000 pesos, 1 million. Now, somebody will tell me that I'm being delusional. It's 2025, inflation, and this and this and that. Listen, in December, this property, the asking price was probably maybe 1.5 million pesos. But now, because we're in 2025, they've jacked up the price. So, probably this property might be on the market for several months. until they are actually motivated to sell. So you can see, right? uh what's available out there. So I'm focusing on Raquel because I think she focuses on fixer upper, because I have people tell me like, hey, I would love to get something in Merida, something under 50K, and then I build on it. I don't want to live outside of the peripheral. I want to live in the city. I want to buy something to fix up to my liking. I want to have a construction project, even though I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. But yeah. And then finally, let's quickly go over this property right here. So this property, they're asking for 2.7 million pesos, right? And so it's about so 600,000 pesos more, so about 30,000 pesos more. And you can see what you can get for whatever price point. So let's compare this one. It's about 216 square meters, 2.7, to this one right here, right? Which is 200 square meters, 2.1, right? You see the state this property is in, built with blocks and such, versus this property here that was built with stones, mamposteria. And you can see the floors, everything looks pretty much in a good shape. The doors are there, the floor is in a good shape. You might need to clean it and polish it so it's shiny and it's clean. It's clean. You can paint the railing it up, even though the stairs look really high. So probably this building, this house was probably just one floor, really high ceiling. But then when somebody bought it, they decided to add a second floor. And also this property was probably much wider, but it was divided up into multi, mini, and very narrow houses. So it says this property it's for renovation, and it has a living room, a dining room, kitchen, 3 bedroom, 3 bath, a patio at the back to build a swimming pool. It's for a renovation project. And yeah, so you can, yeah, so it says here that the advantage of this property is that you can renovate it bit by bit while you live in it. So this is a really good project for somebody who doesn't really have the 5 million pesos, 3 million pesos, 6 million pesos that you see on some properties, right? This property it's actually ready to be lived in. It's move-in ready. It depends on your taste, what you're looking for. You can move in, and bit by bit, as you save up money, because now you're no longer paying rent. As you save up money every 3 months, you can now renovate it bit by bit. You can renovate the kitchen, and then you move into the bath, and then you do the bathroom, and then you do the back area. So you can renovate bit by bit while you live in it. Well, at least that's what they say in this listing. You have to go in person to actually verify that, because this listing it's a little bit confusing for me. So it says here you can pay with your own money, or you can also get credit from the bank. So it's unlike the other ones whereby they were asking for cash. So this is what it looks like. So you have the pasta mosaic floors, which are not cheap right now because not so many companies are doing these floors. And yeah, so the stairs here, it looks like it's in a way they could have made it more curved, like escaleras caracoles. So those spiral stairs, but they probably paid their cousin or somebody to build the stairs. So you can rebuild the stairs if it bothers you, because it bothers me. But anyway, that's just by the way. But the floors are in a really good shape. You can probably maybe replace some of the broken ones. Like this one, you can go to Mosaicos Peninsula, and then they can recreate it for you. Because it looks like it's a plain color. It's not one with design. Sometimes they discontinue some design, so it might be hard to find. But if it's a plain colored one, like these ones, you can just go and buy the two pieces that are broken and put them back. Very easy. All right, let's see more pictures. So yeah, so this is still the same section. This is still the living room, I'm guessing, and that's gonna be the kitchen, I'm guessing. Yeah, and then this is the back area. This is the garden space. So because, like they said, you can put a swimming pool maybe somewhere here, and this is the walking path to the back area. So I don't know if this is actually the picture of the house, because it says it's a renovation project, but this looks good enough to live in at least. So you have the mosaicos floors here, and then yeah, the bed in the middle, right? So this looks good enough, and but then again, it's a little bit confusing because it looks like that's the kitchen That's the kitchen, and this is the, yeah. So like a studio apartment upstairs on the second floor. I think so. And yeah, so that's the main door that we saw, right? That's the main door that leads you to the patio, the outside space, and it's probably maybe one of the bedrooms, because it says in the listing it has three bedrooms. So this is probably the second bedroom, I think. And this might be the third bedroom at the back, right? Yeah, so again, this looks like it's in a really good shape, but I think maybe some parts of the property might need to be worked on. But this looks moving ready. It looks like it's in a good shape, right? And yeah, so they're only asking for 2.7 million pesos versus the other one whereby it's just an empty piece of land asking for 2.1 million pesos. The other one, it's not even in a good shape. They have trash bags all over. They're asking for 2.1 million pesos, and it's about the same square meters. It's, well, 200 square in terms of tenure, land size. But here we don't even know how wide it is and how deep it is. So here, based on wall to wall here, I'm assuming it's about 5 meters. And also based on here, I'm assuming it's about 5 meters. It's about 5 meters wide and maybe 42 meters deep. Fundo. So I'm assuming. So yeah, so you can see what's available out there in different budgets under $100,000. Um, this is about 135,000 US dollars for this one, for this property. So, yeah, let me know what you think. These three properties that I just showed you, this property and this property and this property that I just showed you, let me know if they worth that much. Now, remember, it's always important to compare apples to apples. So, I'm not going to compare what I can get in Canada, for example, to what I can get here in Mexico, because what I get in Canada for, let's say, 200,000 Canadian dollars will be much better, far superior to what I can get for, let's say, even 150,000 Canadian, because the road to get to those properties will be in a much better shape. The electricity, internet, like the amenities that you're paying for, right, different. So I'm not going to compare one country to another country. I'm only going to compare apples to apples. So one property in Merida versus another property in Merida, and I'm also going to compare the same zone. So all these properties are in Centro. They're not too far from each other. So this is in La Ermita. This is in San Sebastian. So San Sebastian and La Ermita, they're in the same zone. The same zone. This one is in San Cristobal. So this is on the other side. It's on the east end of Centro, but they're all in Centro. So I'm not going to compare a property in the north of Merida to the south of Merida, or Centro Merida to the north of Merida. So I'm comparing houses in Centro Merida against each other. So that's one thing to keep in mind, because some properties they will list the pricing in US dollars, because then to you it seems cheaper. But then you have to ask yourself, in the US, the same property, what is the quality of that property? How clean would the street be? My neighbors, are they going to be quiet? Like, what is the quality that I'm getting for living in that neighborhood versus living in this particular neighborhood, in terms of same of safety and so on and so forth, right? So you have to compare that, and not just, compare, oh, in the US this will cost this much. We're not in the US, we're in Mexico, and we're in Merida, to be specific, right? All right, so let me know what you think about these three houses. Ciao.